All right, thanks guys for joining us on the hot seat. And of course, as we had told you, we are hosting the co-chair of BBI, Mr. Dennis Waweru.
Yes.
Karibu sana to the show.
Asante. Thank you.
Karibu sana.
And welcome for coming to the Secretariat.
Thank you so much for inviting us to your space.
I hope you have taken a cup of tea.
That is subject to...
And I hope you have read the document.
No, if we take tea, they will say we are being bribed to...
Have you read the bill?
I have read it.
Not
the whole, but I have...
I will give you several.
Fantastic. I will distribute them to our...
Good, yeah.
Fantastic. So we start off, of course, before we go to BBI, we just want to know a bit of your background, like who is Dennis Waweru besides being an ex-politician, the co-chair of BBI? Is he a family man? Is he... Who is Dennis?
Dennis Waweru is a simple gentleman from Dagoretti, born and bred in Dagoretti, gone to university, done Bachelor of Commerce, done MBA, and after that I became an investment banker, and I do investment banking. I run a company called Faida Investment Bank, and I'm a businessman. But I'm still a politician.
Once a politician.
Not a former.
All right.
Yeah.
So how did Dennis end up in politics from finance?
Well, it's a very interesting combination. Being an investment banker, from where you mean what you say, or your word is your bond. You know, in the investment banking or the stockbroking fraternity, your word is your bond. You cannot say you didn't say. And of course, I went to where you don't mean what you say. So it's a very interesting combination of having an investment banker being a politician. Yes. But I'm coping. Yes.
How did you graduate from investment banking, like serious, ideally to now politics?
Well, I was just more involved in community project in the constituency, church work, educating less privileged children, trying to bring them up, and of course people felt like I can be able to serve them better if I become a member of parliament, and that was in 2013. Yes. In fact, I got into politics almost 6 months to elections of 2013, and I won. But that being what it is, I was able to give back whatever I could for the 5 years that I was member of parliament, and the record sits for itself. The standards that I set, you can go to Dagoretti and ask the work I did, and I feel very satisfied even when I'm not a member of parliament, because I did my part, and I'm very proud of what we did when we were in parliament, and I have not stopped. I'm still trying to improve the lives of the people of Dagoretti.
How hard was it to transition?
Well, it was very hard, extremely difficult. Because for example, it's very difficult for me to lie to you. I would tell you as is. So the most difficult thing is for me in politics is because I'm used to telling people as is. I don't sugarcoat. I don't tell you things to please you. I will tell you as is. And I remember sometimes, even when I'm at home, I have difficulties. I usually tell even my wife, now what will I tell these people, and I cannot lie to them because that is me. I will tell you as is because I cannot be able to find myself lying and giving you false hope. And that is even what drives me even today, even in this process that we are doing in BBI, because I believe in standing for the truth. I believe in looking at the bigger picture. I believe in ensuring that things are done right. And that is Dennis Waweru for you. Yeah.
So is Dennis a family man?
Definitely I am a family man.
And how is
happily married, with children, not yet done, still getting more. Yeah.
Okay.
And I am okay and happy. As a family man, Christian, I'm brought up in a Christian family. And I continued being a Christian and trying to bring up my children in a Christian manner.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So now to the reason why we are at your office.
Yes.
The BBI.
Yes.
I mean, this has been an issue starting part of last year to where we are today. What's the status of BBI as we speak?
As you're aware, we have been going through all the phases. This is a popular initiative. We start with the people and we end up with the people. Because there are two options. You can change a constitution through the parliament, or you can either go direct to the people and do the people's popular initiative. And that is what we are doing in BBI. So we initially started with the views. You remember we went through BBI views. We went the whole country. There was a report. After the report, we went again to validate the report. After the report validation, again now we came up with a bill. On the basis of the bill, we now corrected the signatures. And in that process, we corrected 4.4 million signatures, which we submitted to IEBC. After the signature, the law requires IEBC to verify and to get a minimum of 1 million signatures, which we got a few weeks back. And after that, we were given now the permission to go to the county assemblies. The law requires us to get at least majority of the counties approving the bill. That is 24 counties. After they pass the bill, again now we go to the National Assembly and eventually to Senate. And we go now to where we started with the people. Yeah, that is what that is why it's called the popular public initiative. In fact, I'm surprised. I was expecting them to take another 1 week because of public participation.
Does it shock you or worry you that they
no, it shows
without
no, they are following, you know, every county has its own standing orders.
Yes.
So they follow their standing orders. In that, I don't know how many days they have put, depending on which county. So I'm expecting them to have followed their due process as per their standing orders.
And this comes, I think, a week after President Kenyatta went to Sagana and promised MCA's cars. And of course, part of this week,
you know, the reason
also passed.
You know, the reason why I say the reason why, of course, they are very eager to pass this bill is because it also gives them 5% World Development Fund,
yes,
a small CDF,
yes,
which they have been fighting for a long time. Yeah? I think for the car grant has been an ongoing issue for quite some time, because they always talk about
contributor for having like 3 counties in less than a week.
But
3 counties.
Yeah, but I think they are also very eager to get the World Fund. Number 2, even governors are very eager to access, to increase their funding from 15% to 35%. So I don't think you have any issue in the counties. Because the options are 2.
Yes.
Either we stay as we are,
yes,
as is now, or we go to BBI. There are only 2 options. And so I expect the MCAs to take a better option, which is to pass BBI. Then we can be able to discuss all the other things later.
And as we discuss those other things, there was a debate of guys being bribed to so that
bribe is cash.
Exactly, cash comes in different ways. The car could be looked at as a bribe.
But what right does an MP have that an MCA doesn't have?
Of course, we all have the same right.
No, if you are complaining about the MCAs,
yes,
you might as well complain about the members of parliament.
So you have no issues with that.
So if you are removing the cars for MCAs, then we might as well also do away with the MPs. It's good to be fair.
It's good to be fair.
Yeah.
But now the question that of course many Kenyans ask. So now what happens to the rest of us Kenyans?
You can also
Since
do.
we cannot get the car grants by virtue of not being in leadership.
Yeah.
What happens to us?
In fact, I'm looking forward for you to run in Embu. I want to encourage you to run for a MCA or member of parliament. In fact, I'll come and campaign for you.
So I can get a car?
Not really. You have bought your own car. I think it's good to be fair.
No, it's good to be
I don't know the details of these discussions that they've been having with government or treasury. But I think to be fair, if we are seeing like it's too much for the MCAs to get their cars, we might as well just even say even the MPs should not be having a car. grant. In any case, they're asking for 2 million. MPs get 5 million.
Well, MPs serve constituencies which are bigger, so perhaps someone would argue that's the case. But since that question you seem to be evading, let me ask something different.
You can tweak it, you can rephrase it.
Yes.
I'll still answer it.
On strike for the last 60 days now, plus. But we have no money for that. But you want to tell me we will have money to get MCA's cars. Is it not that we have an issues with our priorities, as especially you people who are in leadership and the doctors?
I would not sit here and tell you that nurses should not be compensated. But I think it's also good for us to understand that that's a devolved function. And they should be dealt at that level. Yeah? And they are handling a very sensitive sector. I think they need to be compensated adequately, but within the law. And I have no problem with anyone getting into any collective bargaining agreement, but I think within the law should be done. But we cannot say because we are discussing with the nurses, we are discussing with the health workers, that MCAs have no right of demanding what is rightfully theirs. So I don't think those two things are related at all.
So do you feel that the priorities that the government sets have an issue somehow?
Not at all. No, we are all Kenyans with equal rights. It depends on how you lobby.
Is it the right timing for BBI now?
Extremely.
And why?
My friend, BBI came, I know where you are asking that. BBI came before Corona. BBI started, first BBI was in 2018, March. Yeah, March 2018. Corona came last year, 1 year after. In fact, we even did Bombers 1. There was no Corona. We cannot stop everything because there is Corona. We should be able to do things concurrently. You cannot tell me now we are going to stop buying equipment for the army because there is Corona. You cannot tell me now we can do BBI next year after Corona. Again, you will come and tell me they are rocust. Yeah? So those things are not related. We should be able to do things concurrently. And government programs and projects have to continue even if there is Corona or not. Even if there is grasshopper or not. Yeah, those are just excuses of people who want to fight the process because they feel that this process is not, maybe a perception that is not favorable to them. But it's because of the messenger, not even the message itself.
It's the messenger.
It is the messenger they are fighting, not the message.
All right. And as we say that they are fighting the messenger, do you want to tell me the people who are against BBI have no reason per se?
They talk to me privately. And they tell me there is nothing wrong with BBI. But because it was brought by a certain personality, they have to oppose it. But they know it's good and it's good for this country. We talk to them every day. They come and see me. They come for a cup of tea. But when there is a camera, they want to stay away. But they are encouraging us to push on and to ensure that it passes through. And especially politicians from Mount Kenya, who are on the other side, they are very supportive of BBI.
Why would people be opposing?
It is because of the messenger.
Why would they not be supporting if, especially like you've named Mount
Kenya, today you
value for Mount Kenya, why would they be opposing?
It is because of the political orientation and the side that they are in. If today we change roles, we say the messenger now is not Raila Odinga, is William Ruto, now you will find the other team opposing BBI. It is because of the political. It is nothing really fundamental. It is really nothing fundamental. It is the messenger that they were, and they should be looking at the message, not the messenger. We should be more concerned about what can BBI do to this country. What can BBI do for Mount Kenya and the other regions? Not about who is pushing the agenda. Remember, even 2010, the person who was the chief architect and the person who was selling Constitution 2010, it was Raila Odinga. And the positions that were created is what Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto occupied. So we don't create positions for individuals and personalities. We create positions for the country and for prosperity.
And that brings me the question, what's the key benefit of BBI that cannot be delivered with our current constitution?
Well, you know, there has been a lot of instability.
Yes.
Me coming from the financial markets, I can tell you, in a cycle of 5 years, we have been expanding our GDP by 6% for only 3 years. 2 years before and after elections, we dip and expand by 3%. So we are losing around 240 billion shillings per year. That's almost 1 trillion in a cycle of 5 years.
Where are we losing the money?
We are losing the money because investors don't come in 1 year to elections. Investors don't come after 1 year after, because we are doing BBIs, we are doing handshakes, we are doing all these Kofi Annan, we are doing all these things. So we need to ensure that we do not have those kind of instabilities in every 5 years. And that can only be done by addressing the issues that make us go to that position of instability. So we need to ensure that, so we need to ensure that we have stability for 5 years. And it is not too much to invest in as compared to the benefit that we are going to derive from that kind of a situation. Because if we have to spend a little bit to get a stability for 5 years, so be it. Because if you do the cost-benefit analysis of it, we are going to be better off. We are going to be better off having addressed those issues and having uninterrupted 5 years of economic growth. What we need is an economic growth of 10% for 10 years in this country, and we can get to full employment. What we need is not wheelbarrow. What we need is not handouts. What we need is to stabilize this country for 10 years, like China did for 15 years. Singapore did it for 10 years. I think 20 years also Malaysia. South Korea has done it for more than 15, 20 years. What we need now is to ensure that we get stability for this country for 10 years with an economic growth of 10%. We will get to full employment. You will not even need to give anyone any handout.
So before
you not need to give anybody anything, because there will be the economic activities that will be generated in that 10 years. We are going to be able to attract investment, we are going to expand this economy, and we are going to get to full employment. And that is the truth, and that is what we need to ensure and embark that it's done.
That's what the proponents are pushing. But in
that's the truth.
Yeah, I'll say that's your truth. Because if I get someone who's against BBI, they'll also say it's the truth. So in 2010, we went through a similar cycle, and the argument was, if we put and implement the 2010 constitution, then we will be where you're saying we are we
better off than we are?
Of course we are better off.
Yeah. So we can make a good idea a better idea.
Ideas are supposed to be made better always.
So BBI is Amendment 1
yes.
of the 2010 constitution.
Yes.
It is actually making a good idea a better idea.
But
and it is not the end.
Fully,
we have.
Fully.
It's only the gender. It's only the gender that we have not.
I was going to ask even.
It is only the gender which we are trying to see how to implement it in this constitution amendment.
So you want to tell me all the bodies we have, like commissions? We've had the Nungu report, which was supposed to help with all these issues of land and stuff like that. We've had, we have DCI. If we used all the bodies we have currently, we cannot achieve where we ought to be as a country.
Let me tell you the truth. Even before we think of sorting the economic issues, we need to sort the political issues. Because if you sort the political issues, it's going to automatically sort the economic issues that we are facing. Yeah? And these issues need to be sorted through BBI. After we do BBI, now we will be able now to go back and say, because we have sorted the political issues that we have been having in the last few years, now we can be able now to embark on the economic issues, because you cannot get economic stability without a political stability. Yeah? That's
true.
Yeah.
So we are creating more seats.
No, not at all.
Ideally, because we'll add the constituency, so that means there are seats.
No. I can give you the mathematics. It's a perception.
Before we get through,
I can give you the mathematics. Yeah.
Where are we getting money to fund all this Yet we're saying we're struggling as a country. How shall we pay these leaders in terms of running their offices that we act?
Well, I don't think you are right on that one. If you do your mathematics, we are actually going to save 14 seats.
Only?
14 seats are going to be saved. I know you are shocked.
Yeah.
Because you've been listening to a lot of propaganda.
No, I'm listening.
If you look at the current setup, we have 349 members of parliament. We have 67 senators. We have 22 members of cabinet. We have 30 CASs, assistant ministers. In the new dispensation, we are not going to have ministers from outside parliament, so we are going to save 22.
So we'll go back to...
Yeah, we are not going to have CASs because there will be MPs from the 360, right? We are not going to have nominated senators. Yeah? So if you do the mathematics, the net position of all this, the net position, we are going to save 14 seats.
14?
Yes. You want to calculate?
No, I will have to...
I have done the mathematics.
You must have done it.
Yeah, we are actually saving 40 seats. If you look at another propaganda that is being peddled around, is that we are going to have, we are creating a prime minister position.
Yes.
The prime minister position,
so many people.
The prime minister position is the work currently being done in Amos Kimunya, combined with the work being done by Matiang'i to supervise cabinet. So we are actually going to save one seat. We are killing one post.
Kill one and create how many?
We are killing one post. And remember, the prime minister will be a member of parliament with no extra pay. The deputy prime minister will be a member of parliament. The other deputy prime minister will be a member of parliament without any extra salary. We are actually going to save one's big position. I know you are shocked.
No. My question is actually, we're going back to where we were back then, I think.
Yeah, because of the nature of the country. We cannot be able to pretend that we don't have many communities who want to feel included in the government.
And
we can no longer have a government being led by two politicians. And we
will have 5 politicians.
Yeah, at least we have for stability.
We have how many
for stability, the others will be ministers. Right? The others will be ministers.
Yes,
but we need a situation where we don't have a Ferrari presidency, where we only have Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto.
Yes.
Now we are going to have more people involved in government. We are actually going to have a more inclusive government than ever for stability.
That is subject if BBI passes.
I know you are converted.
No, I'm not even against BBI.
Yeah.
Just that I hadn't decided. I am yet to...
I hope by the end of the interview you'll be decided.
If you
we want to grow this economy by 10% for 10 years.
You know,
if you do that, it will mean we are going to take this economy and grow the GDP by 3 times in 10 years. Now. Yeah.
And that is what
in another 10 years we will be at another level, another higher level. We don't have to look at the smaller we look at the bigger picture.
Of course, you look at that.
Yeah, so the bigger picture is that we need to grow this economy to a level that we can be able to get full employment. And that can only be done when we have political stability.
All right.
Right?
Yes, that's true. I mean, if we lose it in politics, then we lose everything.
We lose everything. So we need to save. And if I tell you, if you look at Somali, you can imagine how expensive political stability is. Look at Somali for 30 years. It's not true.
But relatively, as Kenyans, I think we're okay.
Yeah, but people are talking about costs. Which economy is bigger, Kenya or Tanzania?
I'd say we are bigger.
So how come they have a prime minister and you're not complaining?
But it's the way they run.
They have more members of parliament. They have a prime minister.
But
they have another president from Zanzibar.
But we can't be comparing ourselves with people who are behind us.
Okay, look at Ethiopia. There's a prime minister in Ethiopia.
Let's look at the US. How many cities do we have? States, rather, with the representation. So we have a bigger representation than
in Africa. We need stability. We need stability. In fact, they have very many small counties, for information. You need to compare critically, if you look at all those, you can be able to tell. But for stability of this, political stability of this country is priceless.
Of course, that I agree.
Yeah, it's priceless.
And I mean, the biggest population in this country is the youth. The youth keep asking, what's in it for us as young people? Besides politicians going around and saying,
future.
We will add you money.
No. Future.
You know, all those things.
Future.
No. What I would want you is, as a youth out there, could you at least break it down, what it means? Besides saying that, the future is, when you say the future, it's relative. And unfortunately, most youth may not have read the BBI. So what would you tell them is the key benefit and how? Maybe break it down so that they understand.
One of the key benefits and the most important benefit to the youth is securing their future.
Define.
That is very critical. Securing as in political stability that is going to bring in the economic growth. That is key to me. If I was a young man, when I was, I'll be looking for stability for the next 10 years. Because some of them, this is their prime age. Yeah?
Yes.
So anything that is going to destabilize my future, I will not go for it. Number two, of course, if we have an economic expansion, we are going to create jobs for the youth. They've gone to school, they're working so hard. So what they need is an enabling environment to be able to do what they want to do, creating opportunities. Yeah, like now we are talking about creating and attracting FDIs in Kenya. We are looking at doing a Dubai in Mombasa. We are looking at doing Dogo Kundu. Big thing, big thing, because it's like a free port like Dubai. We are looking at doing special economic zone again in Suswa. Yeah, you are aware.
Yes.
Yeah, all these things require political stability. Number two, we are talking about incubation centers for the youth. We want to start teaching them on how to do business, how to grow themselves. We do not want to have youth who are only looking for jobs. We want them to be trained, to be mentored, and to be able to do what they can do, both in terms of talents, in terms of businesses. Number three, we also want to ensure that they are freed from this help. Help, because I think it's a very big issue. Even before you get a job, you've been taken to the Credit Reference Bureau.
Yes.
Yeah, you cannot even get clearance to get a job. Yeah, so we want to free them from those issues. There is the issue of tax. If you can tell me now I'm not going to pay tax for the next 7 years, I'll be a very happy person. Those are the issues that we are doing so that we can be able to encourage our youth to develop and to grow. And we can be able to even do an ecosystem that can be able even to nurture and to promote innovation. Yeah, those are the things that we want to do. We want to even have a Silicon Valley here. We want to encourage innovation. But all those things, my dear, cannot happen without political stability. And those things cannot happen by telling them to go to 18th century innovation. We should be able now to take them to the level where they can be able to grow themselves.
Yes.
Look at the billionaires now in the world. They are young people.
Of course, because of technology.
Yeah, because of technology and innovation. You cannot now start telling them to start thinking about funny.
I know where you're going with this conversation.
Yeah, you should be telling them now all is yes, you can. But you cannot start telling them now. Yes. They start doing some other things that you are sure can be able to take them anywhere. But all these things can only happen if we sort the political stability.
So it's 2021.
Yes.
What is preventing the government or people in power from, you see all those things you've mentioned?
We are doing them.
The youth. They are lovely. What is causing us to have such a high unemployment rates in the country? What is causing the youth to be suffering because help demands me to have a letter? What is so hard for the people in those positions of power to influence, because we have the lawmakers?
We want to make it very legal. We want to make it legal. even to remove the bureaucracy and all these things, we want to make it very legal that you are not expected to pay anything to higher education board before you get a job, or we give you 4 years. You're not supposed to pay tax to KRA for 7 years, so that you build yourself. Because even if you start a business, the first 4 years, I've started a business. I know the first 4 years you can't even break even. So you want to ensure that period where they cannot even break even, they don't pay any tax. In fact, they should be given some incentives. Yeah? But we do not want you to start a business today and the next day KRA is on your case and you are 18-year-old or you are 20-year-old.
The BBI, you want to tell
me...
BBI... No, you want to tell me Parliament cannot implement that?
BBI is not just about constitutional change. BBI was also, it was about policy, statutory changes, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. It was about Parliament, yeah, registration. It was about constitutional. So there are all those issues that needed to be sorted out. Those that belongs to the statutory, they can go and be sorted out. Those that belongs to Parliament, they can be taken to Parliament. Those that belong to the constitution change, we can go to a referendum. Or we can put all of it in a bill and pass the bill one off, and then we sort all those issues.
I am still not convinced that HELB has to take BBI for us to get, like a leave of some.
What is wrong even if it goes to that? What matters is the benefits to come.
Of course.
It doesn't matter where it's done. For the youth, what matters is it done or not?
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't cost us anything to put in the bill.
That's true.
Yeah.
But something else that will be of concern.
It even saves time.
You're doing three things together.
You're doing it all together.
All right. The other issue that would be a problem. Just the other day, the president was doing an interview with a local TV station, and he said comfortably that we're losing 2 billion in a day. And these are the same youth you're telling the country has no money. We're getting close to the budget process. We will have, of course, I don't know how many trillion, and we will borrow. But we borrow and lose 2 billion in a day. How much money does it mean we lose in a year? And why? What are the loopholes?
I do not intend to, or I do not want to purport to speak on him, on behalf of him.
The president, yes.
I think the best thing is you seek some clarification for that, because I'm not qualified to comment on that issue because I have no facts. I'm ill-equipped to respond to that question.
But from your financial background, you'd have an idea of what that means for the country.
I would. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't want to comment on that because there must have been some basis by which he commented on that. Yeah, but I think we need to join hands and look at the bigger picture. Let's not just look at how we can be able to fight an initiative. If there is an amendment that you need to move, or if there is something that you feel need to be sorted out, why don't you start a process like BBI? Yes. Instead of fighting BBI, we wouldn't mind having BBI and another initiative. In any case, even America has done more than 20 amendments to their constitution. Yes. We don't mind even amending this constitution again and again and again. But for this one, I think we better secure the benefits that we are getting from BBI and move forward. Right. Yeah.
And what if we have 3 whatever councils that have passed so far? What if it doesn't pass? What next?
I can assure you, by next week, I will have more than 35.
What if it doesn't?
It will. There is no that option. I'm sure. You should be asking me by how many.
Fine.
In fact, you'll be asking me, are you going to achieve the entire 47? I'll tell you yes.
What gives you that confidence?
Because it's a good document. I can tell you there is nothing wrong with BBI. It is the politics that is wrong. It is not BBI.
Do you think that
even then those who are opposed
who should have been pushing, maybe if it came from a different, maybe not politicians per se, then people would look at it.
It's a political process.
Which makes it now, unfortunately.
It's a political process.
Yes.
I think the issue is people are tying BBI and 2022, which was wrong. Because we should sort BBI first,
Yes.
and then after that, because there is more than 18 months, we can look at the 2022. But we should not tie the two. We should also try and get individuals and personalities out of this BBI process. Because I looked at the bill, I even look at it every day. I don't even see any name written Raila Odinga. I don't see any name written Uhuru Kenyatta. I don't even see Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia, or even William Ruto. This is a document for Kenyans, and nobody should try and tie it onto an individual. It is our document. We are going to pass it as Kenyans for the betterment of this country.
And something else they've been raising is that perhaps most governors would be supporting because it gives them room for another term. Is that true?
There is no problem with that. Politics is about interest.
So is it true?
You safeguard your interest. Even you should support it because you want to go to Embu and run.
That didn't answer my question.
There is no problem with that. Politics is about interest.
I didn't say it's bad. I'm just asking, is it true? That
I'm not sure, but you know that is individual.
Governors? No, does it scrap the limit for governors?
It doesn't.
You're sure?
It doesn't.
All right. We will get copies and tell you by the end of this show if that is true.
If it does, you know, governors are supporting BBI, the truth,
Yes.
because it's increasing their funds from 15% to 35%. That's the reason they are supporting it. Politics is about interest.
Of course.
It's a political process.
I don't dispute.
Yeah. So I would safeguard my interests. Yeah, you safeguard your interests.
But you safeguard
Where they
those of the
converge, then we can move forward together.
But do we safeguard those ones for
Yeah.
Wananchi?
Yeah. Wananchis are very happy with BBI.
All right. That's
Extremely happy with
nuclear.
BBI.
That is you saying.
Yeah, what I saw in Sagana the other day shocked me.
Really?
Yeah, the support that is getting in Mount Kenya, it's unbelievable.
And let me ask, now that you keep referencing Mount Kenya,
Yeah.
and from all the people that are pro BBI, they keep saying the interest. What are these interests for Mount Kenya in particular? Like, would you
Of course, we have economic interest. We have issues of coffee. We have issues of coffee, tea, issues of business, banking, interest of milk. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We have a lot of interest in Mount Kenya. So,
So
and
besides-
that is what we safeguard. And we have to ensure that those interests are catered for and protected.
And there's also,
And of course, political interest.
by all means.
Oh yeah.
So the other issue that has an issue maybe with people who are not from other parts of the country, let's just put it, is that Central is getting more constituencies than, let's say, Northeastern Coast.
Because we were underrepresented.
So how will you balance that?
No, we were underrepresented. When we talk about one man, one vote, one shilling, we are pushing that as a Mount Kenya agenda because we were grossly underrepresented. And that was affecting even the resource allocation in our region. Formula, the other day we were trying to pass a formula in Senate. We could not because we have no numbers. And those are the issues that we want to sort out. They are historical issues that we need to sort out once and for all.
So that would be
There has to be some level of equity in representation.
because of even the
Because if you have a constituency representing 10 times another one, then it's not fair. If you have a constituency like Ruiru representing 200,000 to 300,000 people, as compared to Injara or Garissa town with 20,000 people, it's not fair. Because Duare has one vote, Kingara from Ruiru has one vote. It's not fair. We need to have some equity. Yeah, because you cannot tell me that Ruiru gets 100 million with 10 times the people of Garissa town. Garissa town gets 100 million CDF. Ruiru gets 100 million. What is the per capita income? Huh? You cannot even give any bursaries, for example, in Ruiru. You cannot even go beyond 2,000 shillings because of the numbers. So there has to be some level of fairness,
So,
both in terms of representation and also in terms of resource allocation.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
And that is what we call BBI.
All right. That is one aspect.
That is a very strong aspect of BBI.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But for someone in maybe, let's say, in Coast or in Northeastern, why should they be supporting BBI then? Because Central guys, people from Central will feel then this adds value to us. What's the value for someone in, let's say, Garissa, where Dole represents?
We are not saying that we are going to get what they are getting, but we are saying people should get what is fair. They still have equalization fund. Yeah. We are also saying even the horizontal appropriation of devolved funds should also be fair. We should not get a county that is getting more than 3.5 times another. We are saying even counties should be getting almost not more than 3 times another, the lowest, because we need to ensure that resources are allocated on the basis of numbers.
Right, somehow makes sense, but of course it will have.
We are not saying that they should not be given.
From that side.
They should not be given something, but we are saying it should not be too extreme. Too extreme, as it has been in the last 7 years. We are saying even as you deny Nairobi, you should also remember there is something called urban poverty.
Yes.
Right? You should remember there is that kid in Madale who needs bursary. You should remember there is a kid in Kibera, in Dagoretti. Yeah? And even urban poverty is worse than the rural poverty. Right?
Yes.
So what we are asking simply is equity or fairness of either the votes and the resource allocation.
So what if someone would claim that it seems BBI is a Mount Kenya agenda?
Not really. Western Kenya, they have a similar problem. Ruo Nyanza, especially the southern of Nyanza, they are grossly underrepresented. South Rift, Kericho, Bomet, good example, grossly underrepresented. Rift Valley, Rongai, Ngong, underrepresented. Yeah, so it's not a regional issue. Nakuru, we have huge constituencies, but what we are saying, let's be fair and try and balance.
All right.
And bring fairness.
On that fairness,
I am sure you are converted.
That's I cannot air my opinion to the public.
Yeah,
It's
I'm trying.
supposed to be a private.
I'm selling BBI to you.
I can see you're trying as much.
Yeah.
So on that part of fairness, how much of civic education are you doing to the public?
We are doing it. We are trying to do it. Even as we are speaking now, there's a team. My team is in Makueni. Yeah. I think tomorrow we have another team in Nakuru. Last week we had some teams in Nyeri. Another team was in Nyandarua. Another team was in Embu, your home area. And we are continuing, and we are going to ensure, even as we push the county assembly to pass this bill, we are going to carry out the civic education the entire country so that we can be able to bring in consensus on this bill.
Something else I'll ask as we wind up. There's an issue of Uhuru. President Uhuru is pushing this so that he can get a post or something from the BBI.
I thought he said clearly he's retiring yesterday.
That is what he said, but you see...
You don't believe him?
I will listen to
Who
him
do you
more
believe?
So I can tell. I know. I will have to sit.
You need to take his word. Take his word.
So you would deny and say that that's not true?
No, I didn't. I can't comment on behalf of him. He commented and said clearly. So I do not want to comment
so
on.
You're not creating any seats?
No. I'm not. I told you seats are not created for personality, for individuals. And he is a Kenyan, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he has a right if he wants.
Yeah, he is a Kenyan. Like and he has his own voice. He can defend himself. I do not want to purport to speak on his behalf.
All right.
I do not want to speak on his behalf of anyone.
Except for you.
Yeah, ask me about the BBI, the secretariat, I'll comment and I'll answer everything.
So I think pretty much we've talked about the BBI. What next for Dennis?
Dennis Waweru?
Yes.
I'll tell you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, like we're asking now, talk to our viewers. Politically, what next?
Now, I think first things first. I have a task to undertake. I have a job to do, and I must do it perfectly well. Once I'm done with this task, then I can be able to now know the way forward and make a decision on where I'm going. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm around.
As you stay around, what I've heard along the corridors that you want to get to Nairobi, Governor.
If so? Nairobians want me to, so be it. But for now, I have some work to do. A huge task, national task, which I want to ensure that I undertake it and undertake it very well, to the satisfaction of all the Kenyans and the appointing authority.
All right, final words about the BBI to
well, it secures our future. It secures the future of us and our children. It's just Amendment 1. It is not even an overhaul of the whole constitution. It's just an Amendment 1 of 2010. Let's not read too much in it. Let's just embrace it. Let us accept that you can make a good thing better. Yeah? And let's not listen to a lot of propaganda. Read for yourself. The document is beautiful. And I'm sure once you read for yourself, you will see and find a very good reason to support it all the way to the referendum. And I can assure you, this is the beginning of the prosperity that we have been looking for as a country. Because once we sort the political issues, even the economic issues will be sorted automatically through this document and through this process. And I know we are in a very difficult position because of what we are going through with COVID. I know there is an economic slump, but it's worldwide. You cannot start blaming it on a particular government or region or individual. It's a worldwide thing. The slump is worldwide. And I'm sure very soon we are going to get a recovery. And I'm sure it will even be a V-shaped recovery, maybe come this year. So we should not give up, we should not mix issues, but we should not shy away from sorting out our political issues because of temporary challenges that we are facing as an economy and as a country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and sharing issues to do with BBI and especially with the youth. So that has been Dennis Waweru, the co-chair of the BBI committee, sharing, and as he said, get to read, decide for yourself, and when the time comes, if it does, then make the right decision. Thanks for joining us on the hot seat. See you next week.